What is going on, guys? Renegade Ginger here, playing some Titanfall 2 and enjoying the hell out of some Titanfall 2. This game is fantastic. I freaking love it. But it did not have the launch that a lot of people projected it to have. I don't know, the experts. I don't know what you call people who project launches and stuff. But they did not sell as many copies as what they were thinking. And I think I have a reason why that is and why it's not really going to matter much, because this game is so good. I think that it is going to grow and become bigger and bigger. And I want to talk to you guys about why I think that and why I think it had a bad PR launch. I think there's a couple specific reasons why. But before I get into this, let's talk about the gameplay real quick. Number one, at the end of this video, you will see an aimbot on PC, which if you don't know what an aimbot looks like, if you're kind of confused or if you've never really seen much, you will get to see one. It is not the normal type of aimbot where it's like just so obvious it's disgusting. I think this guy only killed me once, so I only get to see him once, but my buddy said that, oh, this dude's using an aimbot. Now, I never report anybody or anything unless I see it myself, but I did get to see it myself. After my buddy called it out, I kind of started watching, and because right now they actually have, or not right now, they have had on PC that you have aimbot decelerators, which make you move, looks like the aim is slower. They have it so that it won't do it through a wall, or if a guy's behind you or only in your line of sight. Pretty much, bam, look at that shot. Pretty much just essentially to make it look like it's legit, to make it look like it's not cheating. Now, I don't want to sound like the PC is just overrun with hackers, like a lot, it's really not. PC is a lot of fun. They do have a lot of things that stop hackers from hacking on new games like this. Now, if you play a game that's 4 years old, then yeah, I'm sure this is probably going to have a lot more problem with hackers. But on new games like this, these guys usually get banned fairly fast, which is nice, and Steam has actually really penalizing bans. I'm not 100% sure on Origin, but I hope that they do too, because hackers ruin I mean, that's not fun. I don't understand how that's fun. Like, even if you do well, like, deep down, you know that you're a piece of shit. Like, how can you... Look at that shot! Bam! People are going to call me aimbotting! Woo! But I'm not aimbotting. But I don't understand how, like, people will be like, oh, I'm so good. I'm so much better than you. You know you're cheating, man. Like, deep down, like, you know that you aren't good. How is that fun? I don't get it. But anyway, maybe I don't understand it, but it's not really like an epidemic on PC, but it is kind of an annoying factor. I guess it is on consoles some, but just not as much. But you do get to see it. I've talked way too long about this aimbot now. Let's get back to the video topic. What I was originally talking about was I have Shadowplay, and I only have it set to record 9 minutes of gameplay. So at the beginning of this game, I go on this huge tear, and I kill like 6 pilots and get my Titan before anybody. But none of y'all get to see that. That was the best part of the game. And nobody gets to see that because I have it set for 9 minutes recording in the past. Apparently, I need to change it to 10. Anyway, so why did Titanfall have this bad launch? I don't think it was a bad launch, but why did it have not an optimal launch? And the main factor of that, I think, is the demos and betas that were released. I think releasing that pre-alpha tech test was one of the worst ideas that Respawn or whatever could have done. Because here's the deal. Call of Duty and Battlefield 1 released this beta for people to test out. But a lot of people on YouTube even argue that it's not even a beta. It's a demo. They've got the game fully polished, ready to go. Now, I know in Call of Duty they did change a lot of things, but they got the game fully polished, ready to go. You just don't have all the guns or all the maps unlocked, right? But it is ready to go. It is playable. It is sexy. It is what you're going to get, right? So you're essentially getting this demo of these two big games. And Titanfall had what was a pre-alpha. Now, a lot of my buddies, like... the people that I've talked to, I don't want to say my buddies, I'll say, are you getting this Titanfall 2 game? And they say, well, no, I played the beta, and I didn't like it. Well, number one, you didn't play a beta, you played a pre-alpha. But number two, they had this game that they changed all this stuff, all these things in this game to make it way better at launch. This game is fantastic. It is one of the best games I have played in a super long time. It is so much fun. It's so well balanced. There's a skill gap. It's so fun. But they essentially don't want to play it because the pre-alpha was bad. And even if there's all these reviews saying this game is so good, they've already played it, and they're like, it's not for me. I'm going to argue that you guys should replay it, even if you didn't like the pre-alpha. This game is completely different than it was in the pre-alpha. But the bad PR movement is you've got two huge games that launch these betas that are so polished and ready to play, and Titanfall launches this. I mean, people just expect it to be almost like a demo, and it wasn't. It was intended to be a tech test to check the servers, but people don't they expected a demo, and when it didn't perform as well as what other games did on their demo, people were not impressed, and they were not going to buy the actual game. I think if they wouldn't have released that pre-alpha, if they would have just went off the hype that is Titanfall 1, that people are sick of Call of Duty, that Infinite Warfare looks like trash and plays like trash, and there's so many bad reviews of it. I mean, hell, even YouTubers that are all about Call of Duty are saying that this game is not for them. You know, you've got this huge fan base that is ready to move. You got this huge hype for Titanfall 2, and people are ready to go for it. And if you just wouldn't have launched anything, which I'm glad they launched it because they fixed a lot of things and they made this game better. So the launch was good for the game. It was not good for the sales, if that makes any sense of what I'm trying to say. If you would have just went off the hype and went off the people that are totally done with Call of Duty and everything else, you would have gotten so many people pre-ordering this game, buying this game right off the bat, ready to play, and it would have crescendoed because more people would buy it. They see their friends buying it. Their friends are saying it's awesome. They're buying it. You know, it would have become this huge thing as instead of a bunch of people playing it. They're ready for the pre-alpha. They all play the pre-alpha, and the pre-alpha's not that good. And they're like, oh, that's disappointing. I don't think I'll pre-order it. I don't think I'll get it. Maybe I'll get it later. That sucks. Like I said, good for the game because they fixed a lot of things. This game is beautiful. It's amazing. It's super fun. It's well-balanced. There are a few things that are overpowered that they're fixing. I assume they're going to fix because they're really good at but there are a few overpowered things. But, you know, good for the game, not so good for the PR. Now, how I think it's going to survive this whole situation, I think it will survive. If you don't know, when Call of Duty launches, it sells a ton of copies right off the bat because everybody's all hyped. It's the train. All your friends play Call of Duty, blah, 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 blah. It sells all these copies, all these pre-orders, and then it goes down. It's like if you were imagining a graph, it spikes, and then it drops. Because that's just how Call of Duty sales go. Whereas Battlefield is a little different. Battlefield doesn't have quite as big of a spike at launch, and then it has a more steady, people keep buying it and buying it and buying it as time goes because it's a good game. I think that this will be more of the case with Titanfall 2. It had a crappier launch than expected. Still sold millions of copies, but crappier than expected. But I think it will still continue to sell and sell and sell and get bigger and bigger because it is a good game. There's a skill gap. The skill gap is higher than Call of Duty. I made a couple of videos saying, hey, if you're jumping in this game and you're getting really frustrated, getting wrecked at the beginning, here's some tips. You can check out those tip videos because in reality, if you just start this game off, there is a skill gap and you're going to have a hard time. But that's what makes these games beautiful. Now, this death here is where I get aimbotted. So I want to show it to you. If you don't know what an aimbot is, like I said, it kind of aims for you, and there's a bunch of things to kind of make it so it's not going to aim for you. This guy, it looks like he has the type of aimbot that doesn't aim unless I'm actually in his line of sight, in his vision, then it aims for him. I have to be kind of in his screen because it doesn't work until actually he comes out of the window. But you guys are going to see that in a minute. Like I said, if you're new to the video, I want you to subscribe if you're new here to this channel. I'm bringing lots of Titanfall 2 gameplay. It's free. Hit that subscribe button so you can watch more Titanfall tips and tricks and news and all that good stuff. Like the video if you did like this video at all or the gameplay or anything like that. And comment letting me know what you guys think about Titanfall 2. I really appreciate your comments and your feedback. I really do appreciate it. I really like this channel. I loved gaming. I got away from this channel because I fell out of love with Call of Duty, the game that I was playing so much, but I'm really falling in love with shooters again because of this. Now watch this. Boom! Aimbot. See that? That is an aimbot. I've been playing PC a lot. You know, some people might say that that's not. That is definitely an aimbot. Watch it again in slow motion. I'm not one to call hacks on people unless I know that they're hacks. Some people just have really good aim, and so I don't call hacks unless I definitely know that there's hacks. But watch it in slow motion. That was an aimbot if you're not sure what it is. So check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.